Had a busy morning so far. Hope you guys are enjoying it. Welcome to Train and Trade, dtitrader.com/telegram. Tom was busy this morning telling everybody what was going on. I recommend that you go there. And let's not forget the YouTube site. Join Tom Busby's free YouTube. You can go to dtitrader.com/YouTube and you'll see the live link because we are live right now. Welcome into our YouTube guest. Make sure you subscribe and like and say good morning in the chat room. We're more than happy to see you guys there. And let's go ahead and get to some things. The market is moving, so I want to get this taken care of kind of quickly. There's a very high degree of risk involved in trading. You and you alone are going to be responsible for the decisions you make in the market. So make sure that you consider all avenues of risk and what is appropriate for your account. Past performance not indicative of future results. And let's keep moving on here. So the big story right now, crude opened last night 108.74. The overnight low was at 91.05. They're back up a little bit. The big news story though is Iran ceasefire. Notice I put a question mark on there, Tom, because I've seen some of that news that you were mentioning earlier. There are some questions about this. So stay tuned, pay attention. It's a developing situation. Now, from the economic front, tomorrow we still have PCE and GDP. Those are on Thursday. The GDP number is for the fourth quarter. We'll get the first quarter GDP later this month. PPI on Friday. Key levels. The FTD high was 66.61. That's really the only key level I need to know right now, and we're going to get to those FTD stocks in a bit. But the RB3 open was a little bit higher. Let me just double check this. I want to make sure I'm giving you the number correctly. 68.2950. So that's a little bit above 66.61. We'll get into that. Tom, your opinion, you've expressed it several times this morning, but for our train and trade crowd, what have you got going on?
All right, we're in a sort of a honeymoon stage of a 2-week ceasefire with Iran. And what I mean by honeymoon is that you got crude down 94, and you've got the market making these highs this morning. We went through several stocks, and they're all spike highs for everyone that we checked. I'll do a more extensive view when we get to this afternoon. I do think that if it holds, meaning the low held, and that low it went to was 67.75 in the day market. If that low holds and we get above 68.30, it's probably meaning that this afternoon they'll buy it into the close because they'll say that'll be the first day that we've had where a rally like we had, which was really extraordinary rally, is giving people confidence. Three things major happened. They took the recession off the table with the ceasefire. That's number one. Number two, the 10-year is at a 3-week low on interest rate. And of course, the biggest thing that happened, crude oil fell over 16%. And it's projected, the last time I checked, and we'll check it in here, last time I checked, it's projected to go to 85 in June. That's my opinion.
All right. Well, we got a lot more to get into, so that's a nice brief entry. Welcome again to everybody. Train and Trade. We do this Monday through Friday, typically at 11 a.m. Eastern. Obviously, a lot of events going on today, so we've rescheduled a few things. So here we are at 12 a.m. Eastern. But again, you can join us on the YouTube site and follow along. Remember, all trades in Train and Trade are tracked through T-Buzz Talk and Trade, which you can be a part of by going to dtitrader.com/TNT. All right. I want to keep us moving here. Tell you about Tom's first book. plus the trilogy, Roadmap to the Markets, available on Amazon.com. Winning the Day Trading Game, complimentary audio book. And Tom, we wrote out that entire link for you, dtitrader.com/WDTG. So we got a couple links popping up into the chat room. Jonathan putting that TNT link in there, and the WDTG link will get there in just a moment. Markets Never Sleep and Trade to Win, both available at Amazon.com. Online public resources, places that I've visited a lot this morning: Forex Factory, Econo Day, Earnings Whispers. Check out on earnings. I got to be honest with you, Tom, I haven't been paying that much attention to earnings. We'll get back into that. But right now,
I got a story to tell you, Chuck.
On earnings, or is this a different
earnings,
story?
Let me tell you the story. So this morning, I guess it's been 40 years since I've traded an airline stock. I'm really negative on airline stocks. Well, Delta had earnings this morning, and I said, I haven't traded airline stocks in all these years. I'm going to trade Delta. So this morning, I bought Delta at 70 and sold it at 73. I said, okay, I filled that square, so I won't do it again. But it was a nice trade on Delta earnings, and I thought it was something out of the ordinary, but it was set up perfect. The numbers looked good, so I went with it. And I wasn't in it very long to hit my target of $3, and that's enough airline profits I need to take, and we'll just let it go from there.
Yeah, well, listen,
and if you read my book, the first two stocks I bought was Pan Am went bankrupt and Eastern Airlines went bankrupt. So getting a little bit of that Eastern Airline and Pan Am money back.
Yeah, you've been doing that for a while though, and I got to give you credits there for finding an earnings stock this morning, because I think most other people were watching the news and seeing what was going on there. And of course, I know you're doing that as well. But the multitasking that goes on a day like today is pretty impressive for those of you that follow along. And let's see, what else have we got? Let's move on through. Take a look at more resources. DTI white paper booklet, dtitrader.com/WP. Tom's YouTube page. We got a few people going over there. Tony, good to see you. dtitrader.com/YouTube. Important terms to know. And that's kind of a long link right there. That's probably one that's best used on click here. But Tom's penalty tape is up on the web. You can see the link on that. Options EDU, and then Tom's BNN interview, and the options education resource page, dtitrader.com/options EDU. There's probably going to be a lot of option trading going on in the next couple of days. And then April FTD stocks. So we ready to get into this, because this spreadsheet, I hope that Jonathan has updated it. Let's go ahead and click in here and just take a look. Let me change this up a little bit so we can see the information. The VIX, Tom, 2056. I know you've been paying a lot of attention to that. It got down below 20 earlier today on the cash side, but 2099 right now, updated at 12:12 Eastern. So that VIX still above 20, but the big thing is all those long tags showing up today. This is the what is this? The fifth day. So it's Wednesday. So it's the fifth day of the month of April, fifth trading day, and S&P showing up long, NASDAQ, Dow, come down to Bitcoin. Let's keep going down this list. You can see corn. I know you've been high on corn.
Yeah, I'm out of the grains until after Thursday when they have their monthly grains report. But got a lot of noise going over in the grain complex right now.
Yeah, we have most of our ETFs, the SPY, all derivatives of the S&P you'd expect to be showing that long side. the QQQ, the TQQ, come down to the Diamond, even the XLF, still on that long side. And
yeah, on the dashboards when we had Goldman Sachs, J.P. Morgan, and Morgan Stanley were selected as top stocks to look at. So I thought that was interesting, the bank stocks. And then if you think about it, if oil prices are down, that doesn't squeeze the consumer as much as it's been squeezing. So that's sort of found money for people now.
yeah, just going down this list, we got a lot of stuff. So you definitely want to narrow it down. The MTI dashboard, a great way to get that done. And well, Tom, there's a lot happening this morning. So what are your big picks? What are you looking at off this list?
Well, I think that several stocks that I like AMD best of all. And I think probably said it, my second pick would be Google. And I'm just, I'm being patient. That's what I'm doing. Patience is going to pay me a lot of money. It already did. I've been building my portfolio for the second half of the year, and this morning was a huge rally. I was able to go in and take a bunch of profits on stocks that I'm prepared to own, and so that was a great morning for me doing that, even in the sell-off. That strategy is not a bad strategy, but you got to make the commitment you own the stock to do it, I think.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot happening. Let me get back to our slides here and let's go through. When major events hit the market, most traders react. Small group are already prepared. We've got a picture of Tom as that small group already being prepared. But also those of you who have been following along on the Telegram channels and here in Trade and Trade, you've had the opportunity to prepare along with us. Today you'll see how that preparation works and why it matters. So let's go through this, Tom. What have we got? First of all, we got to do a risk disclaimer because we're going to get more into markets. Very high degree of risk involved in trading. You and you alone are going to be responsible for the trading decisions you make. Always consider risk when considering a trade. Past performance not indicative of future results. This is on you, Tom. What you got?
Well, we've had such success with our pocket puts. I was asked by several people, is there ways that you could use the pocket put strategy, as an ongoing method? And I said, sure. And so I put together a small course, and we're going to do it in two parts. This is the overview before I get into the slides. The overview would be that we do a setup day, and then we do a actual, what I call activation day, where we actually put it on with you while we're doing it. But it's a way to do an ongoing strategy with pocket puts, again, with the strategy of letting it self-fund itself with what we do. And it's not bad to have inside an account when you wake up and markets should have been up, goes down, and you're able to build it. The current strategy is a simple strategy. It works great, but building upon that, I thought with the request, I got a lot of questions. I said, with that request, I want to, I'll do it. I'll take a couple days and do it. So that's what I'm doing. So I want to tell you about it, and I think people found out the importance of it, and it's a great, what I would call, thing that I discovered years ago in my 40-year trading career. Way to take a tiny fraction of your account and insure yourself. It's like having insurance, like you have on your car, your boat, and everything else. Because one thing you know for sure, no matter how high or low we go, there will be 5 or 10% downturn. And with this strategy, you're pretty well covered. Like the one we were living in until yesterday, it was just strictly down, down, and down. Now you got a market going higher, and it helps people avoid the majority of losses that might otherwise wipe out your account. It only takes a tiny investment and basic option setup to potentially spare your account from disaster when these market crumbles happen. So you can sleep easy. You ever can do that, even when you have trades on overnight or over the weekend. It's a great way to approach the market. Unfortunately, most traders are not insuring themselves against unexpected downturns. They're all in up or all in down, even though they're in the even in raging bull markets, downturns are common. In fact, corrections about 5% are virtually guaranteed to happen 2 or 3 times a year. And if you go back and look at the history of the market, at 10% corrections like the one we just experienced have happened on average at least once a year. Now, these flash crashes almost always happen when greed is at its highest, or when you have an event-driven fear. Definitely the Iran conflict, which means there's never been a more important time than right now for you to learn how to insure your account with what I call the pocket put. Now, the strategy has been studied and recommended by top researchers from Lehman Brothers, elite universities, and even the Federal Reserve. The method for taking a tiny fraction of your account to insure against those big downturns when they occur. So how does it work? Basically no different from buying insurance. Think about it like this. Everyone in this room has insurance on their car. Raise your hand, or your house. And you only need it. Even if you got a boat, you got insurance. Only becomes valuable when you need it. In fact, give me a yes in the chat if you have any form of insurance in your life. Now, here's the thing. Nobody enjoys buying insurance. But we all do it because the tiny costs, these monthly payments, are worth the certainty that we're covered if the unpredictable happens. And you'll gladly pay $100 to $200 a month to keep you covered. So that, God forbid, you're covered if your car is destroyed and you may be out 30 or 40,000. Pays to pay the insurance. Now, let me ask a simple question. Why are you willing to buy insurance on your car and your house where major losses are rare, but you're not insuring your retirement or trading account where major losses are guaranteed at least 1 to 3 times per year? Put another way, if you're guaranteed to get in even a minor car crash, or at least 1 time per year, you pay for the best insurance available, right? Covered. Same thing here. And in this case, the solution is incredibly straightforward, very liquid. The pocket put anyone can place in their account with a few clicks. Now, give me a yes in the chat if this makes sense to everybody. If I can teach you something to have an ongoing protection, just like your insurance, you're going to learn how to place the pocket put. Give me a big yes. Well, guess what? You said you needed it, wanted it, and we're delivering today. I'm launching a special class on pocket puts to walk you through my exact process. Again, day 1, the setup phase, day 2, the actual implementation. And that way, you can have these ongoing in your account. And the neat way I do it, I'm going to show you how to fund it. So when you consider placing these trades, how to set trades up in your account, answer any and all questions you have about the strategy. That's my goal. Now, class would probably cost $1,000, $997 or more. But we're not interested in charging top dollar for this. Instead, I want you to get in the class, learn how to protect yourself for a future event. Because the next time we have a 5 or 10% crash, could be coming sooner than you think. Now, one payment, $199 to access the class. If you're wanting to learn, here's what you need to do. $199, sign up at dtitrader.com/pocket. Gotta love that name. Call 904-706-3632. You'll walk away with an education. In fact, instead of being an insurance salesman, you will be an insurance underwriter doing what I'm going to show you. You'll love it. Now, the first session is this Friday at 1:30. This is the setup phase. 1:30 this Friday, we'll do it. So we got a short time frame to get you signed up and into the class. Go to dtitrader.com/pocket or call 904-706-3532. The first session, 1:30 Friday.
Now, Tom, a lot of people who just went through this are probably thinking, well, it's going to be a while before it happens again. But that ceasefire, 2 weeks, are we really there, or are we in the clear? And even if we are, don't you need to be prepared for the next opportunity?
Yeah, I think the traction here, I call it advanced pocket put strategies, because I'm going to show you some different ways you can do it. And I think if you take time and sign up, you won't be disappointed. And like I said, once you learn this, you'll always keep that little bit tucked away for those days that you're so bullish you can't stand it, and the market wakes up the next day and falls out of bed. Sort of excited to teach this. I didn't realize y'all would want to go this far until, I guess, demand. We said, okay, we'll do it. Adam made the decision. He loves these pocket puts.
Yeah, I think they have served a great purpose, and if we get your track record, and I know we've seen that in previous presentations, it's quite frankly amazing. I want to see if I can get that, maybe that slide thrown in. Let's see if I can dig that up. In the meantime, though, Tom, stellar performance, but also the VIX is still above 20, right? We got crude still, not down to 80. These things are things we expect to see, but we're not out of the woods yet.
Yeah, Neil and John hit the nail on the head. Tom, were you making 10 straight pocket put trades, you'd have to be, well, I won't say what he said, but you'd have to be one of those people going, what else do I need to do to show you I know what I'm talking about in order to learn this, and then be there.
Yeah, Neil pointing out you can often make money with that insurance. So we've seen the opportunities. We know how volatile the market is. We know what it's capable of. And we're looking forward to the market getting to a calmer place, but we're not there yet.
No, and I tell you one thing that John made a real thing. He actually signed up. He said perfect timing to make the transition from a market that we have to worry about every day, the wheels coming off, to a transition to a regular market where you will have these corrections and be able to protect yourself when you do.
Yeah, and the first part of that, let me go ahead and post that in for everybody. Friday is great timing with all that's happening, because we are going to be heading into another weekend, and we don't have control over the market on Saturday.
Yeah, hey, tell me if you're signed up for this course. If you're signed up for it, because this is probably the last time I'm going to talk about it. So tell me if you're signed up. Okay, got there's one calling out, Chuck.
Okay, let's see here. We got Gramp joining us, Keith, Ron, Karen, James.
Good crowd. People are, I think my customers are the smartest customers out there because they realize just taking stuff and putting money on it doesn't work. You gotta have education.
Yeah, definitely. The more you know, the better prepared you're going to be as a trader. That's always been the case. It always will continue to be the case. And we definitely have markets that you want to get into that position where you're paying attention. Now, Tom, I know where to get uh, that list of how you did. I just need to get it onto this computer. But I'm telling you right now, I'm looking at the numbers here, and they're pretty impressive. We did 47% on March 3rd. Tell you what, hang on, let me just go ahead and grab this and see if I can add it in. Got to figure out a way to get back to the normal screen here. Or I'll just do this. This is from a previous presentation we did. Pull this up in front of everybody. Summary of pocket puts closed since the conflict started. And we're looking here at the returns, and this was through March 27th. 47% on the 3rd, 15% on the 6th, 21% on the 9th, 14% on the 12th, 4% on the 19th, 24% on the 20th, 17% on the 26th, 37% and 18% on the 27th. This kind of a record speaks for itself. And this is not done, guys. I realize that the big news is the ceasefire, but Tom, you and I have seen the same news. There is still things going on, and that ceasefire is kind of shaky. Will it survive over the weekend? Well, I don't know the answer to that, but I do know how to prepare just in case.
Yeah, I think that people realize that everything is shaky when it comes to this deal because of who the other side is. Not a normal situation, and to me, I think that what you have to do is is interesting because clearly, I think that having education is no better solution when it comes to these kind of markets. You saw how the market worked and what it did. And I warned everybody this morning that they'd go crazy that first hour and don't be buying during that first hour. And you see that, having the pivot numbers, everything in place, but having the indicator that I'm going to teach you where you can forecast your entries and exits after the class is going to be worth a fortune.
Right, and let's go back to our slide, our original slide. Want to point this out to you, what you walk away with. The pocket put, dtitrader.com/pocket, call 904-706-3532. And I say that because I'm looking at some of the comments in the chat room, Tom, and it looks like the ceasefire is not holding at the moment. Of course, we don't have anything confirmed on that, but it's certainly going to make for a long weekend.
Yep, it's one thing you can rest assured of, folks, and this is just me following the current administration. This is a great strategy to have out there. Okay. Anyway, just throwing that out there. So be prepared, like the Boy Scouts used to say. Be prepared.
Like this comment from John here. We'll need pocket put city. Yeah, we're going on. Question from Debbie: will this be recorded? All of our sessions are recorded in some form or another. So if you're signed up for dtitrader.com/pocket, the pocket put class, you will receive a recording of that. Though we certainly encourage you to be there live because I think you get a little bit more out of the live experience. But yeah, we make a point of recording all these sessions.
Yeah, and the other thing you got to keep in mind, we will put together what I call a cheat sheet at the end of this that you'll have that you can keep there in case the indicators are flashing. You'll know the steps to do. That's going to be the beautiful part of this because I've never put it on paper before. I just done it, gave it away, and I said let's do the advanced side of it. And that's what we did. So that's all I got. I want to thank everybody. We had a big day with our dashboard. That's off the charts, great. Then we had live trading where we covered a real value proposition in that. And I think this is another one here as we meet for train and trade on this day. And so, hey, I'll see everybody on the flip side.
All right, Tom, thank you very much. And as David says, it's not done yet. You still got you coming back at 8 p.m. tonight for Wednesday on the web. So we've had a very busy morning. We expect the market to continue to develop, and we're going to come back tonight to talk to you more about that.
And a little last minute pivot. Did those numbers I gave you yesterday afternoon on that flash meeting give you a frame to understand what to look for that night, last night? I thought that was something that everybody should really appreciate because that took a lot of work to define in a chaotic market how to make sense out of what you were seeing. And if you used it, you probably made some money.